Track and field fans, let me know if you can hear me. Against my better judgment, I've decided to go with the virtual set tonight. I also decided to go live with the final mile in the men's 10,000. So please type in the chat if you can hear me. I'm trying some different audio here. I've also made the mistake of putting the TV on behind me. So I was going to play it on one of my little screens, but then that'd be a copyright violation. So I have to look over here on the wall. I'm joined here by the man that coached Weldon Johnson to fourth place twice in this race, the men's 10,000 meter, John Kelati. He's in the back of the room. And we're looking forward to seeing who is the Weldon Johnson of this year's USAs. We all thought coming in it would be Weini Kelati, but this race is going quite slow. How much time do we have left, John? Is that a mile yet? And we were thinking, when is Fisher going to go to the front? When is Blanks going to go to the front? They better do it, because if Weini Kelati's within 5 seconds with 200 meters to go, he's going to beat them. But it looks like they've just put the hammer down, John. How many laps to go? Yeah, they're not going to break 29 minutes. So Fisher shoves it down with a 60. Graham Blanks actually ran a 58. Now, they already dropped Weini Kelati. Let me pull up the live splits here. Please type in the chat if you can hear me. Let's run Nation. This is the unofficial part of the show. Once it's over, we're going to get going on the Fisher, Blanks, Young, Bosley. Yeah, Kincaid has been dropped, it looks like. 800 to go. Fisher, Blanks, Young, just like we thought. Drew Bosley is now a member of the Nike Swiss Track Club. And Ahmed Mohammed, he's run like 27.0 this year. He's 6. That's it. It's over. Kincaid's done. We know how the rest is finishing. Might as well not even watch this. You've got Fisher, Blanks, and Young, and they're clear of the field, folks. 800 to go. Let's turn this one off. Oh, wait, we got to figure out who wins. I guess it would be changing of the guard, right, John, if Blanks or Young beat Fisher, but I fully expect Fisher just to destroy these guys. Now, remember, I think it was until last year, though, Fisher had never won a US 10,000 somehow, amazingly. But we shall see. We shall see. Can you hear me in the comments, folks? Okay, perfect. I should probably be watching this race a little bit more closely, but I need to give you all a close-up. Once this baby ends, we're going to I've got my handy stopwatch. You see these unofficial people have no idea what they're doing. Here we go. Boom. 28:05 with a lap to go. Still Fisher, Blanks, and Young. A lot of people didn't want to pay the $13, so they're going to wake up on Friday morning, hear me describe the last lap. Doesn't look like they're going that fast. What was that last lap, John? Penultimate lap? Okay. Young's going from third. He's going for it. He pulls up on Fisher and looks, and he's ahead of Fisher. Blanks is right there. It doesn't look like Fisher's really responding. I think Fisher wanted him to go first and just use his less. I don't have a good angle, though. I have like a 10-degree angle, John. How does Fisher look here? Fisher's now falling back into third. He's not panicking. I feel like he's just waiting. This is going to go how we thought, right? Or is it? Young's got the lead halfway down. Fisher's still getting there. I don't think Fisher's going to get there. Nico Young with the upset. Changing of the guard in America. Nico Young won. Fisher 2, and I missed the last lap. God damn it. It wasn't that fast. 56. Well, I guess Fisher never wins the 10,000. So should I call it a changing of the guard? Or is that what we expect? No, it's not what we expected. Come on. We had an Olympic bronze medalist twice just lose the USA Nationals. Nico Young, 350 miler. He's done stuff that, right? Graham Blanks has never done. Has Graham Blanks ever won a Diamond League 5,000? I don't think so. I didn't expect Blanks' kick to be there with those guys. He's always struggled sort of with a kick. Now, the interesting thing, though, was Blanks has run under 1250 twice this year while at sea level. He's been in altitude for the last few months. I thought maybe we could see a breakthrough here, but nice run for Nico Young. 357 tonight for the last 4 laps, according to John Kellogg. So that's what you're seeing, folks. This isn't. Oh, wait. Breaking news, John. Breaking news. Breaking news, folks. And then we're going to restart the show with an official intro. No, I'm just kidding. Jonathan Galt will be joining us from Eugene as he waits for interviews. Okay. I pulled out the results here. Nico Young, 2902. Grant Fisher, 2902. Blanks, 2903. And the Weldon Johnson Award goes to Ahmed Mohammed. Hokani is the elite. Only appropriate that a Flagstaff guy gets it. 2911. Disappointing race, not going to lie, for Woody Kincaid. I mean, if I tell you it's a jog fest for 8,400, and then you got to run 357 miles to win it. I mean, Woody really could not have expected a better scenario than that. I mean, it literally was. I'm going the wrong way here. 69 at 7,600, 68 at 8K, 2K to go. Then they went a 64, 60, 59, 61, 56. So they're not stupid. They're not going to wait to the final 800, and Woody just didn't have it. I heard the people talking that, Drew Hunter was a DNS on the broadcast. We knew Drew wasn't running. Anyways. Change my camera angle here, folks. Cole Raymond is upset. Fisher never wins a 10K, buddy. He won it last year, right? But up until last year, he never won a 10K. Did he ever even won a USA's? I'll let Jonathan Galt tell me when we get here. But anyways, thank you for joining us late at night on the East Coast, 11:38 p.m. Day 1 of USA's is in the books. What to make of it? It was long. It was a long day. I started turning it on 5.5 hours ago. But there were some entertaining things, a lot of things to break down for you. We had the 800 prelims. We had the 1,500 prelims, the steeple prelims. They might as well. As Jonathan Galt and I always say, the steeple prelims might be the most uneventful event of anything at any meet. It doesn't matter whether it's NCAAs, Worlds, USA's. Nothing ever happens in the steeple prelims. They might as well get rid of that. But women's 10,000, Emily Enfield pulled a stunner. We can wait for Jonathan Galt. But, I mean, Emily Enfield, 35 years of age. Seth Lewis said it best. Amazing. I mean, some people thought maybe she'd make the team. But women, this is her first national title at 35 years of age. That's impressive. It's super impressive. And I was kind of viewing her in that race. Let's go back to that race as, okay, I mean, the final 4 finishers were the 4 people everybody would have picked. Cranny, Kelati, Enfield, and and Taylor O. And maybe Schweizer. But I had them, and I had Enfield missing out on the team. The way I viewed it, I thought Kelati was going to be better than everybody. She's very vulnerable on the kick. But on my official picks for the Let'sRun.com prediction contest, I ended up going with Kelati first, Rowe second, and Cranny. And Rowe doesn't have a good kick, but she's run like in the 1440s or 1450s low. Been running super well in the roads, fast track time, much faster than infield this year. And I just thought they're going to break away. Rowe needs to push this race. And then I expect someone to outkick her, but I think Rowe's strong enough to come back on one of them. And that's what happened. Like, Rowe was fourth and then moved up to third. But the shocking thing, it was Kelati, the half marathon American record holder, who faded and did not make the team. Well, she's got the standard. Some of them don't have the standard. I think that they might get in. So we shall see. I mean, it's very possible that Kelati misses out on the team. It's also possible she gets in. But this nonsense of the broadcast of like, why aren't they pushing the pace? Mid-80s? You might as well. There's no point. You're not going to run fast enough, even with the bonus points, to help your world ranking. So, anyways, just reading my text from Jonathan Galtz. He's going to interview the 10K guys and hop on when he can. So, amazing job for Emily and Phil. Amazing. I'm super excited for Taylor Rowe. There's something about orange and white. I'm an Orioles fan. I grew up in Texas, Princeton, but she's having a great year. It's great to see her get on there. Hopefully she can get in. And then the boards are saying Cranny and infield are definitely in. Rowe, maybe. So give us a hot take. Yeah. Folks, you'll get hot takes from me. I was so on top of it watching this meet at home, cooking my son dinner. And then I drove out, and it really bothers me that John Keller, normally he doesn't seem to love running anymore, but he was into this. He was getting the splits. I said, Jude, I paid for it. You can watch it. But then to get it up on this screen so he can see it, we only wanted to pay once. I should have paid just twice, $12 fucking. Should have paid for his TV, and then I could have put it on my TV, and then we wouldn't have to mess with this TV, and I would have had a better broadcast for you guys. But anyways, let's just start where we started. 800 prelims. I've got some takes there. Were the men up first? Yeah, the men were up first. And my number one hot take is USATF, please stop wasting our time, the fans' times. It's embarrassing. They ran 31 people started the 800 today, 27 moved on. And to me, it's a bigger issue at the Olympic trials. I get that they want to imitate the rounds, because I do think running 3 rounds for 800 meter runner is not the same as running, a one-off thing or 2. So I get wanting to replicate the rounds, but particularly in the Olympic trials, it's someone's dream to make that meet. And you should just expand the fields. You should be cutting it down in half every time. Now, maybe there wouldn't be like 40 people that want to do it. But to me, I get they want to have 3 rounds kind of, but they went from 31 to 27. No, I would have gone from 31 to 16. I guess if you want to do 18, but they're going to run 3 rounds of 9. No, I would just cut it in half. Just say, if you're in the top half of the field, you move on. If you're not, you don't. And that would be pretty simple. So I would argue like just cutting it in half. It gives some drama to the fans and whatever. But I actually normally drives me nuts to like, oh, they're not eliminating anyone. But there was still going to be eliminating somebody. And everybody is so good. I mean, we saw this in the meet throughout. The quality of U.S. distance running is insane. Like, this is not 25 years ago. Like, the 1,500 heats were insane. The 800 heats. So you see enough to make it interesting. But before we even started, or I don't even know, Tinoda Matsatsa of Georgetown, DNS. Disappointing. He misses NCAs, right? I mean, it seems like he's always injured. So just keep your head up. Donavan Brazier missed years, buddy. This guy's a talent. Talent doesn't go away. Disappointing not to see him. My other takeaway was the high school guy, Cooper Lutkenhouse of Texas. My God, he looked amazing. He was second in heat number 2 with Josh Hoey. You know, they're like, oh, he's kind of looking around. Was he nervous? No, he's just looking around to find space. The guy looked like he had turbo. So he looked amazing. Finished his 0.09 behind Hoey, 147. I mean, there weren't, obviously nobody was eliminated of note, but Cooper Lutkenhouse was super, super good. The heat winners, I mean, look at the names on these heat winners. Bryce Hoppel, Brandon Miller, Josh Hoey, and Donavan Brazier. Folks, mark it down. Whatever the goddamn date is, the men's 800 final is going to be electric. with those 4 names and the high schooler. If the high schooler makes it, insane. So look, all of those guys, the big hitters look good. Hopple had the fastest time of the day, 1:45. Brazier went like 58, 50, 56, 52 or something like that. And he just looked insane, negative splitting it. Just looked really, really good. So I just thought that was great. It's just going to be such a fantastic final. On the negative side of things, hey, it wouldn't be a podcast if Roger didn't go negative. I forgot to do it. Fair enough. I never made the video about Colin Solomon at NCAAs. I mean, he ran one of the dumbest tactical races I've ever seen someone run and didn't make the final. I was watching him in the prelim, and I'm like, dude, I get it. He's in the middle of lane 2, and I get it. Like, you can afford to run extra ground when everyone's making it, but I just thought, like, tactically, this guy is awful. I mean, some people are instinctively really good tactically. Oh, well, John's reminding me. See, I don't have the photographic memory. John's saying Colin Solomon ran an insane tactical race indoors in high school that he won. Okay. Maybe he's just having a bad year. You know, maybe I'm just short sample size like baseball. You know, even Aaron Judge didn't Shohei Ohtani strike out 4 times the other day. So odds of Donavan Brazier making it to Worlds. God. Well, according to my Let's Run.com prediction contest picks, he's making it. I just thought, I'm impressed by Brandon Miller. We see what an elite coach does. He was terrible when he was being coached by Bobby Kersey. He's good again. He just ran 3:35 in the 1500. But I think Donavan Brazier, he's already run faster this year than Miller ever has in his life. And if you're a Donavan Brazier fan, I think you're encouraged by today. I thought he looked fantastic. And he just kind of wanted to like see what he got. So I think the odds are, there's 4 guys in my mind for 3 spots. I think Brazier makes it more than 50% of the time. I mean, I would have to do the odds, but you could go like 95, 90, like 60, I mean, almost all of them, right? As long as it all adds up to 300, couldn't you go like 90, 80, 70, 60? Like, John, you're the math major. John Kellogg, Master's of Mathematics, right? It has to add up to 300. So you could go 90, 80, 70, 60. What does that have to be? 170, 230. It's a little high. Anyways. So all 4 could have a 75% chance. No. Hoey's a lock. Well, I shouldn't say that, actually. See, that's the thing that makes you nervous is you're not good enough to lead the whole thing if people are close to you. But look, they all looked fantastic. That's going to be insane. All right, moving on to the women's 800. A lot of people were not watching this. They were at work on the West Coast. They didn't want to pay the $12. I just paid and then immediately canceled so I don't get caught up on it again for next month. Let's see here. Here are the heat winners. You ready? Addie Wiley, Athing Mu, Sage Hurta-Klecker, and Nia Akins. 201, 2 flat, 159, 201. So those are the big names. And look at the second place finishers. Raven Rogers, Ajay Wilson, Olivia Baker, Rosine Willis. So, I mean, obviously, again, almost everybody was making it. In one heat, everybody did make it. Heat 2, all 8 people made it. They ran, looks like they ran 31 people, and again, 27 made it. But big takeaways, the big takeaways were obvious. Athing Mu looked pretty darn good to me. I'm not sure why she ran hard in the heat 2. She was clearly going to make it. Everyone was going to make it. And then she just put on the gas and kind of wanted to run hard the last 50. It looked like she was trying to break 2 and kind of, I thought at first she looked upset. Then I saw her smiling and waving. We'll talk to Jonathan Gallup about what she said to him afterwards. But I thought she looked good. She put on half a second everybody else in the field for no reason. I think that Will Lear on the broadcast was like, she's probably searching for confidence. I can think of no other reason to do that, but she looked a lot better than I expected her to do it. But again, this is one of the greatest talents, if not the greatest talent we've ever seen in this event in world history. I'm still not confident she's going to make the team, but maybe when I saw that, I was like, damn, I should have picked her. But I think she needs to be a lot better than everybody. And the thing, if you're an Athing Mu fan, you probably thought, wow, she looks amazing. She's making it. Let me warn you about one thing. She had the perfect heat. Michaela Rose is so bad tactically, only has one way to run. She went out hard and then just sort of faded. So there was no tactics. There was no running wide. It was, I don't know if I can get the split for Michaela Rose. Michaela Rose goes out in 58.5. Athing Mu goes out in 59.5. She doesn't think about anything. She's fourth. She can just move up. Like if she gets an easy trip like that in the final, doesn't have any tactics, that's perfect for Athing. She's not good tactically. If it's bunched up, it's a problem. This was a perfect race for her, but it's going to give her confidence. So, anyways, Linda doesn't agree with me. She says the time was the same basically she ran before, and she looked gassed at the end with her arms around. She did look like she was trying to break two, but I think this was a confidence boost. But I don't think she's making the team. Because the other big news was, I guess not in terms of medaling at the world stage, although it certainly could happen, would be Nia Akins. Nia Akins, the winner of the last two USA's outdoors, who's just been up and down and dropping out of races and panic attacks. And if you doubt her indoors, it looked like she was going to win a medal at Worlds, but then she fell. And then outdoors, she has the same problems all over again. She was so bad and so uncompetitive at Grand Slam track. And I know she's not a 1,500 meter runner, but then she just dropped out of the 8, and then she looked terrible. Today, just rocks her heat. And if she's confident, how do you bet her not to make the team? So Wiley's on the team, so it's just a matter of then who gets third. And Sage Hurta-Klecker, I didn't get that. She won her heat by over a second. And I know she's been rabbiting, and but you're a veteran. Why do you need confidence? Why are you wasting the energy? When I just would have never done that. Never done that. So it doesn't really matter. She's a strong PT. It might matter. I just did not understand that. So thumbs down to the tactics for Sage Hurta-Klecker. I think Mo looks good. Wiley looks good. Akins looks good. Willis is pretty good. I didn't really watch. I didn't notice Juliet Whitaker. She was only 5th in her heat, 201.5, but the top 6 in her heat made it. I would be stunned. She missed the NCAA season if she can do it. Anyways, give us your picks, people. Yes or no? Athing Mu, does she make it? Well, we got massive numbers. Massive numbers. Thanks for joining us live. Robert Johnson here, folks, at the Baltimore headquarters. We'll be joined shortly by Jonathan Galt. I guess I should show off my new studio here. I didn't think it was going to work. We may not have John's audio, though. That's the one issue. I was like, set's looking pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Pretty proud of it. I got my photo up of Emily Enfield, age 35, winning her first national title. Shit, it makes me want to make a comeback. Oh, wait. It didn't go through. There we go. My beautiful virtual set, folks, on the waterfront here in Baltimore. By the way, I'm enjoying a cold one. It's a super light beer, though. It's like 2.8% alcohol. So I'm on top of it, folks. I'm on top of it. Anyways, let's go back to the close-up. So will Mo make it? Sage is flexing. She's saying no. Sage is good for 8th in the final. Wow. By the way, Carl Winter, former intern. Carl, where are you these days? Getting ready for NFL training camp? By the way, look, it's very important nowadays in the modern world. You got to get people's names right? You got to say they and the pronouns and everything out of respect. We don't need to say Athing Mu, Nick, and I, because she's entered under Athing Mu. So it's Athing Mu. We just say Mo. She entered that way despite being married. So that's the name I'm going to use. It's just so much easier to use that name. So Athing Mu, I'm like, she herself entered using the short name. So why are you going out and butchering the broadcast? At a minimum, it's been proposed on the matchboard message boards. We just call her Athing Mooney. If you want to say like give her the husband some credit, Mooney. And then she can get a Mooney like sponsorship from some band. Anyways. All right. That's the women's 800. Not going to lie. Did I watch the women's steeple? I don't think so. I was driving out to the office. But look, nothing happened. Lexi Holiday Lowry wins. Val Constantine second. Kaylee Mitchell. These are all people we expected to go. They won 2-3 in the first heat. Ellie Ostrander, everyone likes her, whatever. She's got the YouTube channel. She gets in as a time qualifier. Second heat, North Carolina State, insane. Angelina Napoleon, sophomore, 9:10 this year. Wondering if she going to run out of steam. No, 9:30. Gabrielle Jennings, one of the favorites, 9:30. Markovich, Wayman, 9:30. Chrissy Garrett, 9:30. Everyone ran 9:30 in that heat. So whatever. Everybody made it. Men's steeple. The big news there, Kenneth Brooks, he bombed his last race. So you're like, is there any reason to worry? If you listen to the regular podcast, I talked to his training partner, Dan Michalski. He's like, no, he had a hiccup in Europe. He looks good. It looked like the old Kenneth Brooks. He was in control of the second heat, had a big lead, laid off the gas, won it. Michalski, let's run guy. Second, 821. Sato, 821. Hamilton, 821. I mean, it's a blanket finish. Top 6 guys all ran 821. Olympian James Corrigan was not in the auto spots. I think he's a smart guy, knew that he was getting in. Like, he was kind of back. He knew that nobody had run faster than 825 in the first heat. So I think he knew top 8 under 825, I'm in. So I think he was just playing it cool. These guys from BYU were smart. And a big takeaway here, folks, if I had like graphics up and was doing it, this was a bad day for yours truly. Rojo goes home devastated. Wejo goes home devastated. Why? Anthony Rocic, my boy, has been eliminated. And Evan Jager. By the way, how are they butchering his name? He's one of the greatest runners in heaven. Unless I've been saying his name wrong for 20 years, which is, I guess, possible. He looked terrible. He's out. Anthony Rocic, my boy's out. And Evan Jager, Weldon's boy's out. Jager's is done. So that's the steeple. And then let's go to the 1500s. I believe, did they reverse the order? Or am I making this up? No, men were first. This was insane. First of all, the first heat was the heat of death. Because unlike these other races where you've got 7 of 8, all 8 of 8 qualifying, here in the 1500, you've got top 3 and next 3, which drives me nuts. The 1500 is not a timed race run by time. If you're going to take 12 to the final, just take the top 4 in each heat. It's such a penalty to be in the first goddamn heat. But Hobbs Kessler is like, okay, this is by far the hardest heat. It's got Ethan Strand, Hobbs Kessler, Jonah Koech. You got a Diamond League winner, a double Olympian, Ethan Strand, who's got the sickest kick. You've got Elliott Cook, who's got good wheels, Abel Tuffer, NCAA champion, Josh Thompson, multi-time world member, Craig Ingalls. This heat was significantly better than the other heats. But Kessler's just like, screw this. I'm not risking it. And goes 58, 156, 155.9, 253. He goes 58, 57, 57. I'm just like, God, like back in the day, nobody did that. And everybody's right there with him, including Eric Holt. What the hell had Eric Holt done all year? I mean, the guy had the race of his life before the week before the trials last year, 2 weeks before. He beats Hobbs Kessler before the trials last year. Eric Holt had run 336 in 10th place on July 12th. That was what he had. He gets a contract this year, runs for Puma, and only runs 336 in 10th place. Remember, this is the guy that ran, we thought it was good when he beat Kessler in 334 last year. 334 flat right before the trials, goes to trials, doesn't even make the final, bombs out in the semifinals. Well, this guy was right there going into the last lap. And he stayed right there. It was sick. It was so impressive. Excuse me, that was the second heat. He was in the second heat. I'm going to get my heats mixed up. Anyways, the first heat, though, Strand, Kessler, Koech, they get ahead. And then I'm like, what's going to happen with the last 100? Kessler, at the time, I thought was running a fast pace. I'm like, they're going to run like 334. And they do run 334. And Strand was right there. Not everyone else is gapped. The top three are clear. And I'm like, oh, this isn't doing anything to Strand. He looks amazing. And then I think he wanted to send his message to Kessler. Yeah, he's the Woody Kincaid of the 1500s, John Kellogg's telling me. Strand beat Kessler. And my first thought was very negative for Kessler. Kessler might as well not even run the final. How is he going to beat Strand? If he does that, he's not going to. If he's pushing the pace, Strand's going to sit on him and blow his doors off. Now, the final can be different because Nagoose can be pushing even harder, and Kessler can rabbit on Nagoose. I think we've seen it. Rabbiting helps. Drafting helps. Second lap. So if Kessler gets to sit on Nagoose, maybe he's going to have more pressure. But if you put $1 million on the line and you put Hobbs Kessler and Ethan Strand on the race, and so the winner of this match race gets $1 million, I don't see any scenario where Hobbs Kessler wins it. None. His only option would be to try to just go from the front and outkick him. I mean, shove the pace down so hard, and I think Strand's going to outbeat him. I guess he could try to go really slow and turn into an 800 maybe, but like in a normal 800 now. I think Strand's just, his kick's insane, and he looked good. So that was heat one. Coach, to me, he hasn't raced forever. I don't see him making this team. He didn't look sharp enough to me. But he did run 334. Second heat. So I was impressed by the 334. Cole Hawker takes the lead about 300 in or 400 in. 56. 9. 154. 251. He goes 56.9, 57.2, 57.7. 251.8, and then he runs a 40. He runs 332.57. And Eric Mother effing Holt. All right, guys. I'm going to have to mute myself. I don't know why John Galt is not getting on to the show. I'm going to have to text him real quick here. Anyways, Holt was just right there. This guy's done nothing. And Hawker 332, Holt 332, Sam Prakel 330.08, Nathan Green 333.17, Joe Wascom 334.58. This though was eye-opening to me. Like, I made the comment like 6 months ago. I'm like 2028 Olympic medal hops. I think Nathan Green has a higher chance than a Kessler. I just don't see Kessler going to that level. Because I know he's great, but he doesn't have the it factor for me. We'll see in the final. But like, this was a problem to me for Grant. Oh shoot. If you're a Nathan Green fan, I just don't think he's. I know he won NCAAs, but I don't think he's the same level as these guys. Like, you saw when it was fast, he was struggling today. He was getting dropped a little bit. Wascom runs 334.4. He gets in on time. And you got some information from this race. And then Nagoose in the second heat just runs 332.66 from the front. Gary Martin looked great. 333.01. Seattle 333. Hauser 334. I mean, John will have the stats, but until last year, like 334 would have been like the meet record. Instead, like you got to run. Yeah, you got to. I can pull it up. I've got this amazing website that has every USA's 1500 on my website. You had to run 334 to make the final in the men's 1500. This is insane. Let me find this. And this is it. There's no rabbits. I mean, we used to think it was amazing. What did German Fernandez run NCAAs that one year? 254? It wasn't NCAAs. Okay, here we go. NCAAs results. Shout out to this guy. Trackfield.brinkster.net. It's one of the coolest websites I've ever been to. Trackfield.brinkster, BRINKSTR.net. No one knows about it. I think I'm probably the only person in the world that pays for it. You don't have to pay, but if you pay for some of it, US 1500, just click on 1500. US National Championships by Men. It's got every year. Okay, last year Hawker won it in 330. 2023, Nagoose won it in 334. But that's it. 345, 335. So Hawker 335 in 2021. I mean, yeah. In 2016, when Matthew Centrowitz was at the peak of his powers, it was mind-blowing. mind-blowing that he ran 3:34.09 meet record to win the Olympic trials, and then he went on to win the Olympics. Robbie Anders was 3:34.88. Then there was a gap, 3:36.18 and 3:36.62. So with Leo Manzano, who's a goddamn Olympic medalist. So less than 10 years ago, you had Leo Manzano getting beat by 2.5 seconds running 3:36. Actually, Craig Ingles was in that race, 3:37.66 for fifth. By the way, Craig Ingles, for some reason, did double duty today. He ran the 800 prelims. Oh, we are joined by Jonathan Gold. John, can you hear me?
Yeah, Robert, I can hear you just listing off. I hope you haven't just been listing off old times from the US 1500 meter finals for the last half an hour, but I appreciate the yeoman's work you did. Just, well, you don't mind hearing yourself talk, so not the worst outcome in the world for you, but I mean, some fun races. Those 10K finals, I really enjoyed them. Men's race was kind of a snooze fest until the last mile, but last mile was fun. So yeah, ready to talk some track. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I guess the natural thing would be to talk about the 10Ks, but I don't want to do that because I'm just talking about these prelims.
Okay.
In terms of, that's what I've just been talking about. Like, what did we learn from the 800 and the 1500 meter prelims? I haven't got to the women's 1500. Let's talk men's 1500 meters. To me, the significant things we learned in the men's 1500, just the depth is insane, as I was just talking about the records. But I thought we got some useful information. First of all, Eric Holt, where did that come from? I mean, 3:36 in his last race for 10th place. He's very inconsistent, but that was fun to see.
I talked to Eric Holt, and he was over the moon with his time, understandably so, running a PB because he'd been awful earlier this year. And he said he was dealing with a hamstring injury in March or so, and he really only had like one good month of training. He hadn't been able to do much speed work. Whenever he picks up and tries to run fast, his hamstring starts bothering him again. So I tried to phrase the question like 3 different times. How do you explain you running a personal best? And he never really gave a good answer, but you know, he's essentially just been doing high mileage, low speed, like threshold work. And see, I don't know how his training was like before, but he seems to be responding to it quite well. And then he basically was like, look, in the prelim today, I just knew, you know, I had to be with Cole. Because when he thought Cole would take off at some point, and he was just like, I'm just going to go for it. He said he was terrified because he didn't know he was in that kind of shape, but he went with it and, you know, tried to be gutsy, and he was rewarded.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much depth in the event. I wonder why some of these companies like spend money on people, but like, he's so interesting because he's up and down, but people love his story. And then he's in a new group. I can see why Puma does it because they're trying to build that group up. It was a great night for them. Taylor Rowe.
What do you mean group? He's not with Puma Elite. He's still coached by John Troutman.
Oh, he is. But I'm actually looking at Liam Murphy. I'm like shoe companies. Like, we'll take a official shoe company, low 6-figure deal. Like you're paying 6 figures to people like Waleed Suleiman of the Brooks Bees, or no offense, even Liam Murphy. I couldn't believe Liam Murphy got signed by Nike Swish Tech. I'm like, what? He didn't make the final. I'm like, why the hell did I hire him? I shouldn't have just bashed him for no reason because he's a good up and coming runner. But look, my takeaways from this were Holt was good, but he's not going to do anything in the final.
Correct.
Look, we had Hawker and Goose. Everyone thinks they're going to make the team. We still think they're going to make the team. We said all along, Kessler was 5th in the Olympics. Is he going to make the team? I don't think he is. And I said that Ethan Strand's going to make him. Do you agree with me that Strand looked better today and sent a signal to him by taking that heat?
I mean, he looked better. He pulled away a little bit at the end, but he wasn't doing any of the work. Hobbs was the guy doing the work. I think they both looked good, and it's hard to take too much away from who pulled away to win the heat when the 3 of those guys were clear of the field. I don't know if we learned all that much from the 1500. I think Nathan Green needing a time qualifier. Granted, you know, he still ran 3:33.17, but that to me, going in, I was a little worried if it's like a 3:30 race or something in the final, is he going to be there? And I'm still my concerns, I don't think were unfounded, because today it was a fast prelim and he didn't even beat Sam Prakel for the last auto spot. So I'm discounting him going into the final, assuming the final will be fast.
Yeah, no, I think it was a good day for Strand. Nothing really changed. The big dogs will look good, but the Strand Kessler, which we're expecting to be the battle for third, is going to be amazing. By the way, if you're just joining us, special live edition, LetsRun.com Track Talk podcast. we do a podcast every week, Monday or Tuesday, for everybody, and then we do a special show for our Supporters Club members. We go live every night in Eugene for them. And if you don't want to catch it live late at night, because I'm gonna pull this from YouTube. You need to join the Supporters Club. But go to letsrun.com/subscribe. Letsrun.com/subscribe. Don't feel like signing up. You get a free T-shirt, or you can just buy a T-shirt. Shop.letsrun.com. Shop.letsrun.com. I got a couple shirts still on sale. The blanks. People notice that I dropped the price from $50 to $30. They're buying up those blank shirts. So that was the men's 1500. Let's go to the women's 1500. I was just about to get to that myself. I mean, look at the heat winners: Nikki Hiltz, Sinclair Johnson, Emily Mackay, and then you had Margot Appleton second. Heather, I didn't learn anything from these heats.
Yeah. Looking through the results, I'm kind of with you on that one, Robert. I thought Rachel MacArthur had a nice personal best. She got the first time qualifier 4:08 by a couple seconds. I don't think she's going to be a factor in the final. And then, Hiltz, Sinclair Johnson, and Emily Mackay, those are the three people I would have expected to win the heats. So I don't know if we need to spend that much time discussing it, because I really don't think much has changed from what we knew going into the meet.
No, right. And the times are, in case those of you not watching it, 405.99, 407.54, 404 for Mackay. I think it's going to come down. We've got, you and I both have Hilton and Johnson on the team, and I think we have the same team. We said Mackay's younger than McLean. I mean, no, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Mackay, no, she's a little younger and she ran better at pre. I asked Heather McLean about that. I was like,
and we've lost Jonathan Galt, folks. Jonathan Galt is gone. Also, if you join the Supporters Club, when you listen to it on demand, you will not have any of these pauses. They'll be taken out.
Yeah, Robert, sorry about that. I was trying to get the nice camera so everyone could see me in HD, and instead it just killed my audio. Can you hear me again now?
I can hear you. I cannot see you anymore. There we go.
You can't? Okay. Sorry about that. But yeah, I was basically asking Heather McLean, you got beat by more than a second by Mackay at the pre-classic. Do you think you closed that gap? And she thought that race wasn't really indicative of her true fitness, that she'd had a couple of hiccups going in. I'm still picking Mackay over her for the third spot. But again, nothing. I was picking her going in, and then Mackay beat her in the prelim today. So I don't think that really changes anything for me.
What'd you make of the 800 prelims? I mean, I was just so, it was like, if you're an 800 meter fan, and we've got a good friend, I think you might have been meeting up with him today, and John, former 800 Olympian, he will remain anonymous. But if you're an 800 fan, you've got to just be so excited. Just even the concept that this final for the men is, going to be, we were eagerly anticipating it, but even more so now. Hoppel, Miller, Hoey, and Brazier all win a heat today. All look great doing it. And then you have the high score Lickenhouse looking so amazing. But did you have any other takeaways besides that? I mean, I was just excited about the event.
My main takeaway was USATF should let more athletes into the meet. The idea of holding qualifying rounds where
I don't understand. I already did that. I went on a rant.
Okay.
And I've been going on this rant for 10 years. Certainly for the Olympic trials, you need to let in more. Maybe they don't want to show, or they don't want the expenses or whatever for this one. But I think one of the most unfair things, they're trying to replicate the Olympics with 3 rounds, the Worlds. And the most unfair in track and field thing is the World Championship or Olympic semi, when you go from 24 to 8, because it's too much of a cut down. So you don't need to imitate that. I would have just gone today from 31 to 16 or 31 to 18 and have a 2-heat final. Then the fans have something to watch for. And just say top half. If you're in the top half of the field, you're in. If you're not, you're out.
Right. People don't like anything when there's no jeopardy. And that there was very, very little jeopardy in the 800.
It's weird though, just because we had the names and the high score, I wasn't as outraged as you would think I would be. But yeah, we went on that. And for the women's 800, well, Natalie Dumas, I didn't mention her. She was the high school. She looked terrible.
Yeah.
But what did you make of Athing Mu and what stage started Klecker? I did not understand. Like, some people thought Mo looked good. That was me. Other people think she looked gassed. I mean, why was she trying to? Did she say she was trying to break two? What was going on there?
No, I thought she looked a little gassed at the end, Robert. She ran a season's best. This is improvement. And talking to her in the mix zone, she really seemed to. She was basically saying like a lot of her struggles this year she thinks are mental, and maybe that has contributed. I also think like clearly, I don't think she just ran too flat at the Memphis meet because she was in 157 shape and she wasn't mentally there. Like, I don't think she was fit enough to do it. And I think the two things might blend together a little bit. Like, either her training hasn't been quite as good, or I don't know all the exact details, but she certainly admitted the way last year went with her falling at the trials and with her injury, that lingered, that stress, mental stress, and really had a bad, I think it's affected her because she said, she's had a full buildup of training. She hasn't missed any time this year. She didn't get a late start because she was injured. Like, she's been healthy, just hasn't been running well. So she does think that she said she thought she made progress since Memphis. And I think the way she raced today, at least, like, she was in the pack a little bit more. She looked a bit more comfortable than she had the first two races.
See, I thought she looked better, but I did think it was weird how she looked at the finish. But I said I'm discounting it because she had the perfect setup. Michaela Rose took that out pretty hard. She didn't have to think about it.
Right.
Michaela Rose, she reminds me of the Ethiopians. Like, she just never seems to get it right. She only has one way to run. If I was coaching, I would have said run and last. Everybody's going to make this heat. You just need to practice doing something different. But and then what about Sage Klecker, though? She's a veteran. She breaks two all the time. Why did she gap the field and win by a second and a half?
Well, I mean, you could say maybe I didn't talk to her, but you could say maybe she was just feeling good and she went for it. I'm not totally sure. I tend to spin that as a positive thing, though. If you're feeling good enough to rip a 159.2 in the prelims, you're probably feeling pretty confident about your fitness. But does that mean I'm going to pick her on the team now after today? Not necessarily.
Because the good knee Aiken showed up.
Well, she showed up for the first round.
But that to me means she's in a good headspace and she's going to make this team. And Wiley's going to make this team, and that leaves one spot. And it's not going to Sage Klecker. I'm sorry.
It might, but her running 159.2. I'm not ready to vault her onto the team yet.
Okay, women's 10,000. I guess I can run the numbers. We'll do it for tomorrow, but for tomorrow's show. Did anyone of the thousands of people that entered the Let's Run.com prediction contest, besides Emily Infield's mother, pick her to win that race? At age 35, this is her first national title. Like, amazing.
It was so cool, Robert. She kept laughing in the interview. She couldn't believe. She basically was just like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this happened. She ran USA's, she said, her junior year of college at Georgetown, and finished 5th in the 1500. This must have been like 2011. I'll look it up the exact dates. I want to make sure this is correct. 2011 U.S. Championships, 1500 meters. Emily Infeld was 5th. Now, 14 years later, she wins her first national title. She won a bronze medal at the World Championships in 2015. And never in that span did she win a national title. She had Molly Huddle blocking her. It's crazy, but it's really cool story. She stuck with it. I mean, her Nike contract basically was up last year. Brooks took a chance on her. She said that Garrett Heath, the head of sports marketing in Brooks, when they signed her, she was kind of expecting, all right, I'm 35. I'm going to be moving up to the roads. And he told her, no, like, you've still got a future on the track. I think you can do things on the track. Stick with it. So she did. And she started double threshold training this year. She takes a day off every week, which she never used to do. Like, she has reinvented herself. Must be on her 4th or 5th coach as a pro. She was with Jerry Schumacher for a long time. That's who she won the bronze medal with in 2015. She made the team. Then it looked like, she was slowing down. Then she comes back and makes the team in 2022 with John Green as her coach. And then her last 2 years were not going well. And she started working with her old college coach, Chris Miltenberg, the guy who coached her to fifth in the 1500 back in 2011. Now, she's being coached remotely by him, doing all these new modern training techniques, double threshold, taking a day off or whatever. I guess they're not all, taking a day off isn't exactly revolutionary, but, she's adjusted and she's adapted, and she finally got her national title. I just think it's a really cool story.
Yeah. I mean, if you're wondering what she's done this year, she ran 30:59 at the 10, March 29th, and a week later ran Grand Slam Kingston, 8th in the 3K. I mean, 3K is short for her, 4th in the 5K, 15:26. I mean, but then she did run in February, 15:19, 5,000 in BU. Then she dropped out of it, 5,000 on May 24th, and nothing. So she has no races since April 6th. And just, there was someone on thread on the forum said she was going to do well, but I think would have done third. This was
she could tell she's always been a pretty good kicker, Robert. That's one thing.
I thought she was going to kick for third, but I didn't expect her to kick for the win. And where do we stand on road to Tokyo with the top three? Because Weini Kelati, that was a disaster for her. What happened there?
She just said, I don't know. She said, I don't usually race that well in Eugene. I mean, she won the trials last year, but she was also saying she's been dealing with, basically, she's been to 3 different doctors trying to get a diagnosis. She just feels like nauseous and fatigued, even when she's not running. Sometimes it comes and goes. And she went to 3 different doctors. They told her 3 different things, but it has not been like a smooth sailing season for her since she set the American record in the half marathon back in January. So she was like, yeah, I've been doing all right recently, but I don't know. It's been a rough year for me. So she was devastated to miss out. In terms of the situation, so Infeld and Cranny should have the points to be in the world ranking quota to get one of the spots for the world championships. And there aren't going to be many people bumping them by the end of the window in a few weeks, just because there aren't that many high-level 10,000s left. So they're probably okay. Taylor Rowe is where it gets tricky. I don't know the exact situation where she's going to filter in on the points, but she's not going to be in the quota. This performance will give her a fair amount of points, though. Running 31:45 in a national championship, she'll get some bonus points for that. So she'll probably be like borderline and would probably need a few athletes to drop out of the rankings quota, which could happen. So yeah, and if she doesn't end up qualifying, Kelati would have the ranking and be able to go.
Well, I said that she should. I said years ago, Kelati needs to just move to the roads. There's something missing on the track with her. I know she's a good runner, but it's like, I don't know. I guess like the Infeld seems to be made for the track, and Kelati seems to be made for the roads. That was the women's 10,000, and then the men's 10,000. I came on live. I had a bad angle, John, because I wanted John Keller to be able to watch it. We should have just bought two things for $12.99. Instead, I had it over here. I could barely see the last mile.
What's the skyline behind you, Robert? Is that Baltimore?
Yeah, we're in Baltimore. So the
I don't know if it was Tokyo. I'm not sure.
I'm like, okay, I turned it on like a mile to go or something like that, right when Fisher went to the lead. And I'm like, wait, I go, right when I was starting on, I'm like, they better go like Woody Kincaid's within 5 seconds with a mile to go. This with 200 to go, he's going to book his ticket. And then Kincaid was dropped. So I'm like, okay, it's over. Like, what do we have to possibly debate? And then I'm like, this is the easiest thing ever. I'm like, wait, Fisher never wins a 10K. Well, last year was that his first win ever at USA's or just the 10K win?
First 10K win.
And then it is harder when you're leading and you kind of have the pressure to win. And I don't know, like I expected Blanks to get dropped. I don't think he has the wheels, those guys. Nico didn't used to have the kick, but we saw him win the Diamond League. We saw first of all, before that, we saw him run 350 in the mile. Then we saw him win the Diamond League. Blanks beat him in the second race, but I'm like, that's more of a strength thing. Who can run sub 250, 1250 twice in the span of 9 days?
Well, and
It's
Grand
not-
Slam Philly. Remember, Nico won that in a kick and beat Blanks convincingly.
Yes, but that was Blanks' first race. My only thought was, because you're talking about like breakthroughs, why would we expect someone to be better? If you've been doing what you've always been doing, I wouldn't expect it. I did give Blanks the thought of, he was running that while at Harvard, not at altitude. He's been at altitude the last few weeks. Maybe he's an altitude responder. Maybe we can see something different. I mean, Graham Blanks is a damn good runner, but right now he's a little bit flawed for these guys in terms of the kick. But like,
let's be realistic.
Nico versus Fisher was fascinating.
Let's be realistic here, Robert. He lost to two guys who could end up medaling at the World Championships this year. Like, I was
right
before this meet.
They could go 1-2.
Well, that's what I was saying. Before this meet, I was thinking, is Grant Fisher the favorite for the World Championships in 10,000 meters? And I think my answer was going to be yes. And now this is a 29:02 race. There is no way the World Championship final is going to be 29:02. But I think both Nico and Grant, legitimate gold medal contenders, because I asked Nico about that after the race today. I'm like, you beat a guy who medaled. There's no Chepta guy. What do you think? He's like, look, I went to Europe. I beat a lot of the best guys in the world in that 5K in Oslo. He outkicked Mahari. Granted, Mahari is not running the 10,000 in Tokyo, but Mahari won the Ethiopian de facto trials at the pre-classic. Mahari beat Aragawi and Barega at the pre-classic, and
that's
Nico Young
going for him. The best guy from Ethiopia is not even running the race, and Chepta guy's not the best guy in the world is not running the race either. I mean, we're going to put a small asterisk when the gold medal goes to an American. I'll put a small asterisk to it because I do want us beating the best, and there's American privilege. It's not white privilege. It's not it's American privilege because they have the huge sugar contracts and don't have to move out to the roads.
Chepta guy isn't moving to the roads because he needs the money. The guy's got 2 gold medals, 2 world records. He's moving to the roads because he doesn't have anything left to prove on the track. Like, literally,
if they pay him to run on the roads, he wouldn't be running them.
Okay, well, they're going to pay. They would pay him if he stayed on the track as well.
I maybe we should leave the show. Is Nico Young the favorite now?
Let's see how the 5K goes. If he comes back and beats everyone in the 5K, I think I'm ready to crown him, the favorite for the 10K at Worlds. But I think it's going to be the Aragawi, or could you really trust Kajelcha at a championship?
No, but couldn't Kajelcha easily run a 56 on the last lap of a 10,000 and it's running over 29 minutes?
I mean, easily. I don't know. This kind of race, he'd be a factor for sure, but like, it's going to be an Ethiopian or an American, I think, winning gold, and I think there's 2 Americans who could do it.
And how is Kajelcha even on the team? He didn't even run pre.
Well, we talked about that. Like, he has the fastest. I think he has the fastest time because his road time this year, like that's how he got the standard. And I think they don't always like having their athletes double, and Mahari prefers the 5K. Because I actually asked Nico Young, I said, did you ever consider just doing the 5K? Because he thinks that's his better event right now. I agree with him. And because I do wonder, like,
I need to stop the nonsense right now. I've just done the stats. Go ahead. I don't want to. I already interrupted.
What I was going to say is, I was like, do you just go all in on the 5K at USA's and at Worlds because that's your event, your best event? Because I'm not sure if it's a 26:40 race. I know he's passed all these tests with flying colors, but the 10K is a little bit different than the 5K. Does he still have that big kick in a 26:40 race?
No, I don't think he does.
So right. But then the other thing is, you've got Jakob in the 5K, but it's also, we don't know what Jakob we're getting. I'm assuming Jakob's still going to be the favorite by the time. I think he'll show up, he'll run Silesia, he'll run well, and he'll still be the guy in the 5K. But like, do you focus on the 5K because you're a bit stronger in that one, or do you go for the 10K because there's no Jakob? I mean, he'll probably he'll run both, but I was wondering, is it worth going all in on the 5? And by the way, Nico did say he considered it, but He's like, look, I have the standard in the 10K. You know, it's hard to get. I'm just, I can get on the worlds in that team, so I'm gonna do it as well.
We got to stop the nonsense, though. Nico Young is not the favorite for the 10,000. I just was looking at some stats. He was 12th last year. Admittedly, that wasn't peak Nico, but what have I been saying for 4 years? There's a guy that's always ahead of Grant Fisher, who's younger than Grant Fisher, and his name's Barahu Aragawi. Why wouldn't Aragawi be the favorite over Nico Young? Here's what Aragawi's done this year. For once, he's an Ethiopian that's not over racing. He ran some cross-country race in January, won that. Goes to World Indoors, gets second in the 3,000, 746. Goes to Shanghai, and that's March 22nd. Shanghai, May 3rd. Wins that in 1250. So Diamond League win. This is something that Nico Young's done. But this is early in the season. It's May 3rd. He's running 1250. Then he goes to the pre-classic, runs 26:43. So he's ran fantastic every time. He won the Olympic silver last year. So he's the favorite. I mean, come on.
He should, when you compare him to Young, you have to go with Arago. Just the track record is so much longer. I know this guy can kick well into the end of a 10K.
And we know that, right. We know that Nico can kick at the end of a 5K against, honestly, those weren't the best guys, John.
I mean, no, there was some of the best guys in there. They didn't have their best day. Kajelcha was in the race. He just didn't run well. Like Mahari is one of the best guys in the world right now in the 5. But yeah, the track record of those guys, I think you probably would say Aragawi is the favorite right now. And then, but let's see. I mean, if Young comes out and beats Fisher and beats everyone else in the 5K again, his stock continues to go up. So it's really impressive to win the title at age 23 and to take down Grant Fisher. I mean, it's incredible that he's gotten to this point this quickly in his career. I thought Nico Young would win national titles on the track eventually, but to usurp Fisher and take him down in this race, to get there at 23, he just turned 23, like the age of a fifth-year senior in college, that's damn impressive.
And I know a lot of people think it's unrelated. I guess he's been assisted by Galen Rupp, but every race he runs with a kick makes me think there's some chance Galen Rupp, much higher odds that he was clean. And I just assumed you developed that kick, you had to be dirty.
Robert, I'm going to use some stats here from, I want to use some stats here from Gordon Mack, formerly of Flow Track, because
while you looked it up, let me say one thing. I can't believe that Kajelcha was in that Oslo race when Nico Young won, because again, he tried to push the pace. I've forgotten about that. He's always trying to push the pace. I just can't believe that. First of all, did you know whose birthday it is today, John?
July 31st.
It's Quincy. Where I am.
I thought it was Quincy Hall's birthday. I was looked that up. August 1st. It's Emmanuel Wanyonyi's birthday.
Well, I guess you and Kajelcha have the same birthday. He's 28 officially. I mean, come on. This guy's been around forever. But we think it's amazing. When Nico Young went through 50, I'm like, well, how this guy's got a kick? I mean, Kajelcha was the world indoor record holder at 347? Like, it blows my mind that guy doesn't get more medals.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the stat I wanted to use from Gordon Mack, he's got this theory that essentially Nico Young is kind of the second coming of Galen Rupp. And they're both coached by the same man right now. But high school, I'll start basically with college, that neither of them won an NCAA title until their final year of college, and then they both won multiple titles and had this amazing kick. And then their there's a ton more stats like that. Like, I guess it's kind of complicated actually, but basically their progressions are very similar. And
that's why you guys need to do the written recap. John will put the stats in there.
Their fifth year of college, Galen Rupp's fifth year out of high school, he won his first U.S. title, 2009, on the track. This is Nico Young's fifth year out of high school. 2025, he wins his first US title on the track. So, yeah, I see a lot of similarities between both of those guys. And, we're early, but this guy's potential, his ceiling is gold medal on the track for a distance event for an American. And that's a crazy ceiling to have.
I mean, who's ever had that ceiling?
Fisher's got that ceiling.
Has Fisher ever won a Diamond League?
No, Fisher got an Olympic medal last year. His ceiling
I don't think we've ever had. What I'm saying is the pressure on. I mean, the ceiling for Nico is like we thought. Okay, Rupp can contend, but Rupp was like Pharaoh's workout boy, and Fisher we thought okay he can medal. We're gonna go into the Worlds thinking this guy could win the gold damn medal. Seems like there's a little bit of a void there. It's just fascinating, right? I mean, it was only, I think it was last year indoors. I remember talking to Brosnan in like December of 2023. He's like, yeah, I really think he can break 13. I'm going to go up there for the race. He was just excited about breaking 13. Now he's regularly under 13. And I'm thinking, oh, really? Like, is he better than the other guys? Like,
we'll see. I mean, I don't want to.
Park OG.
This was a 29:02 race, so I think we were right to sort of pump the brakes on it a little bit to say like, oh, he's not the favorite for the 10K at Worlds. Could he win it? Maybe. I think it's on the table.
I agree with you actually, because there's no way that the Worlds 10K goes like this slow. No. And I actually think what you saw today, because remind me, Fisher was doing most of the work there in that last mile.
Yeah, all of it. I mean,
man, I think we got a little ahead of ourselves. What you saw today was why Fisher medaled in the last year. The Ethiopians are doing all the work and they're trying to win. And when you try to win, a lot of times you don't win because you react differently. And when you just sit on somebody else, oftentimes you're the one winning. And I knew that you actually watch these races in the middle. Weldon Johnson would have been proud. Fisher, Young, and those guys were just sitting in the rail in the middle of the pack, just doing no work. I'm like, well, it's what Weldon needs to do. You got to save energy. But you see the Ethiopians trying to push the pace last year in Tokyo, alternating the lead. They wore themselves out, most of them, except for Aragawi. But I feel like Fisher was like, okay, I want to make sure I make the team. Everybody knew that he would go, and I guess he could have rolled the dice and think he's going to kick blanks, but you want to get rid of Kincaid. I mean, I think if it had waited, probably blanks goes, but Gibby always tells him not to lead. So it was interesting.
It was fun. Yeah.
Anything else, John? Oh, we didn't talk high school sprints. Taylor ran terribly, 10-3, but he made the next round. The other high schooler ran like 10-10.
Did he get a time qualifier?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I guess they just didn't eliminate many people. He was the last guy through, 10:36. Wow.
He was in the same heat as the other high schooler, right?
Yes. No, Maurice Cleaton looked good. And I talked to him after the race. I was like, what's your goal? He's like, my goal is to make the world championship team for Tokyo this year. And it's rare that you see like a high schooler just come out and say that, but he was just like, look, that's my goal. And it's kind of scary to say that, but it's also like, that's what I'm here to do. And, it's going to be hard for him to do, obviously. But I thought, no, he looked good. I mean, 10-10, he looked good running that.
All right, you talk to these runners, obviously Enfield. What was Fisher's mindset about? I mean, he's such a nice guy, but was he pissed?
I mean, he wasn't happy. He was Grant Fisher's, even when he's a little disappointed or unhappy, he's still going to be professional. But he was like, yeah, Nico's really good. Graham Blanks is really good. And he said he didn't feel like he had the pop today. He's like, sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. Tactically, he thought he played it well. Like, he's like, look, that's his move, right? He goes between a mile and like a K to go. We knew he was going to do that. And he did it because he needed to get rid of Kincaid. So it worked because it put him on the team. And 100 meters to go, I thought he still might get young. He was on his shoulder. And I was like, okay, Grant has saved something in the tank. Now, Nico also saved something, as it turned out. But I don't think there's any shame in losing to one of the best guys in the world on the last lap. So, yeah, he was disappointed. But he's like, look, I'll regroup. come back for the 5K, but he's on the team, which was clearly number one goal. And he also was like, I've got 6 weeks to really sharpen up for Tokyo. Like the goal is to make the team here. The goal is not to peak for USA's.
All right, Coach 123 is calling me out on YouTube or X. He's got a good point. He said, "You're correct, Rojo." Now he's talking about my logic of how it's hard to win. You do all the work. You're leading. I think for Fisher and the Ethiopians, he's saying, "You're correct, Rojo." Now play that logic towards Hobbs and Strand. That's true. And I said that at the beginning of the show. I said, John, do you agree with this assessment? If you put $1 million, if I got, well, since my last name is Johnson, so if I just told everyone, hey, I've got like $1 million here, got all these backers, and we're going to make track and field popular. I'm going to fly out to Eugene, even though I don't really like Eugene. We're going to do it on we'll do it tomorrow. Screw the 1,500 meter final. Make it $10 million. We're going to have a match race between Hobbs, Kessler, and Ethan Strand at 1,500 meters. Just the two of them. No one else is allowed to race. I was like, I don't see how Hobbs Kessler wins because we saw it today. Strand will just sit on it and then blow his doors out. Now, Strand, maybe Kessler could just walk the first 700 meters and turn it into an 800, and maybe he would beat him if he just ran an 800. But if I'm not talking about if they ran it like a normal 1,500, what I saw today, I'm like, no, he's not winning.
But you're assuming that Hobbs is going to lead it. Why wouldn't Hobbs just let Strand lead it?
Okay, it's fine. I might change it. For $10 million, if Hobbs Kessler tries to okay, how about this? I give Hobbs Kessler $10 million. I say, Hobbs, I'll give you $10 million if you can run a 1,500 and beat Hobbs Kessler, beat Strand from the front. No rabbits.
No, I don't think you can do that because what have we learned time after time? Two guys close in ability, especially if you've got a guy who can kick, which Strand can. The guy who's leading the whole time, you have to be way fitter than the other guy to drop him.
Jakob. I don't pick Jakobs, but Hobbs can win this thing, just like Grant Fisher can beat Nico when Nagoose is the one going to push the pace. Right. Nagoose or Hawker are going to be look. The three of them right now, I'll just make that a time trial. The two of them.
I think Nagoose will. I was talking to him and what's your best way? Like, do you think your best way to make the team is to have it fast? He's like, yeah, not really a secret. So he said today, basically, he was like, yeah, I don't always like being like right at the front. I figured I would go to the back and but he eventually finds his way to the front. He still runs 3:32, even like chilling at the back at the start of the race. He still led them through a 3:32. So I think Nagoose will lead it because he knows his best. That's probably his best shot at making the team. And I think then that probably does benefit. I mean, talking to Hobbs Kessler though is interesting. He thought a fast race benefits him. He said his last month of training has been really perfect. He had 2 down weeks in June where just didn't go that well. But since then, he said it's been really good. He's really happy about where he's at. But he said 2 things paradoxically. He thought he was sharper anaerobically than he usually is, which meant he's not quite as strong aerobically. So I asked him, do you think that having a 3:29, 3:30 race in the final hurts you then? Do you think you're anaerobically fitter? And he's like, no, I think that suits me. So he was very fired up, and I think he feels pretty good about where he's at.
Well, he should be. I didn't think about that. He knows he can run. What did he run last year?
3:29.
Yeah, probably. I think Strand can do that.
All right.
Wait. I had a brilliant point to make. Oh, people want to know, Daniel Black, did Fisher get paid? I told John to ask that question. John's like, I don't want to bother them on the day of the competition. He hasn't been checking his bank account. So John would not ask the question. John also, true false, John was in a restaurant yesterday. The only people in the restaurant were John, Noah Lyles, Sha'Carri Richardson, and some other famous sprinter.
Ry Benjamin. There were 5 other people, but it was 30% of the people in this restaurant had an Olympic gold medal from last year.
And I asked John, I said, did you dare go up to Sherry? Ray's takes that Sha'Carri was arrested at the Seattle airport. I've seen no print publication of that. I'm like, did you ask? He said, no, he didn't. So John did not ask about the payments to Ray. Did anyone ask about the payments?
So we were talking to Kenny Benerick about it, and the AFP reporter did ask him, he said some athletes have been paid. What's your situation? And he he kind of deflected the question. He seemed quite confident people would get paid. He was preaching patience, and he's like, I have faith we'll get paid eventually. It's a startup. These sort of things tend to happen. I'm like, I'm not totally sure about that, but I will. Today's July 31st, which is the final. It's still on the West Coast. It is for a few hours, Robert, which is the final day they Grand Slam track set themselves to pay out these athletes. Tomorrow is August 1st, which means everyone should have been paid by tomorrow. It's a weekday, business day. So I do plan on asking athletes tomorrow whether they were planning on paid for Kingston, because at that point the money should be in their accounts. All right, Robert. Well, I think that's going to do it for day one, because I still got an article to write this evening, and I have to have dinner. So, any final
here? I've got to do this podcast somehow. I already put it out,
and we love you for it, Robert. Well,
you haven't seen my virtual set, so you have to watch the YouTube. I delete it
the whole time. I see it right. I've been looking at it the whole time.
No, but
virtual
when I kick you out.
Okay. Well, I'm sure it was magnificent. Anyway, pleasure to be here in Eugene. Enjoyed the first day. I know there wasn't. I feel like it kicked off sort of when the 1500 got going. Oh, and did you say Evan Jager? I mean, that might have been the last time we see him run a track race, Robert. It's possible.
He said that?
He essentially said going into the year he wanted to keep running until he thought he could no longer make U.S. teams. And he said he had he's been healthy all year. He wasn't even he's not even in the final. So it was great to see him out there and going for it. And, he was fourth last year, so I can understand why he went for it again. But he said Nike has an option whether to retain him at the end of this season. And, he'll talk to them about it, but
I should have made these hats.
His future's up in the air, we'll say that. So this may have been the last time we saw Evan Jager at a U.S. Championships, and if it was, what a fantastic run it was. 2 global medals, American record, 8 straight U.S. titles in the steeplechase. He was fantastic.
While you were doing that, I was putting on the yellow beanie that I never made because I didn't think it was that cool. It's so amazing. I should have made it. I didn't want to make it in China, so I didn't make it. So now I got to find a Vietnamese partner. All right.
Actually, seven straight U.S. titles. I gave him 2.
Member that's on the show live listening, email me, Robert at Let's Run. The first one in, as long as you're in the U.S., I don't want to send it overseas. You'll get one of these short sleeve T-shirts that some guy, I forgot from the name of the company. I should be giving him a shout out, but he made for me for no reason. They're quite cool. Robert at Let's Run. I already sent Linda one. Linda, did you get it? I know you got it.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. See you tomorrow. Bye.
I'm going to keep the stream going for a second. John, I'm going to send you a link. Click on it. We're going to mute ourselves, though, so they can't hear us. I got to test something out. All right, let me test this. 1. Is there an echo? Yeah, there's an echo. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I hear you. I don't hear that. Oh,
Wait, hold on 1 second. Keep. What about 1, 2, 3, 4? Say something. Unmute yourself on StreamYard. Oh, you're on. Oh, get out of StreamYard. Oh, no. Oh, okay. So now say something. Can you hear me? Talk, John. Okay.